And finally, one last detail on this map of the Loyalist diaspora as I'm sketching it. One last trajectory is traced by that very unusual group of Loyalists, the Black Loyalists, the ones who used to be slaves. They go initially to Canada, but in Canada they find not only that it's really cold and snowy, which is kind of a crummy thing that everyone has to deal with there in the era before snow plowing, but they also find that they are people who have been traditionally, of course, enslaved, and the whites among whom they live, are inclined to view them as a kind of labor force who can be put into conditions resembling that of slavery or indentured labor and so on. And so they have a good deal of trouble actually kind of finding a niche for themselves in these refugee societies of the Loyalist diaspora. And it is for that reason that when a group of British abolitionists comes to Canada in the early 1790s and meets with them and says, hey, we have an idea for you. We can take you somewhere warm. We can take you somewhere where you can strike out on your own without these other former masters kind of bossing you around. The Loyalists, the Black Loyalists in Canada, decide to take the offer. And the offer will lead them under, among other things, the leadership of some really charismatic preachers in their community. This promise will lead them across the Atlantic to yet another site in the Loyalist diaspora on the coast of West Africa in the settlement of Freetown, Sierra Leone. It is a city that is settled by Black American Loyalists, and the name Freetown tells us what it was committed to. That is, that blacks should not live in slavery, and it is Freetown, Sierra Leone, that will in turn become the model for the colony of Liberia, founded by the United States a generation later. So there are really remarkable outgrowths of this diaspora.